Good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I hope you're all having a really, really good Sunday. We're live and streaming again. It feels like it's only 2 minutes ago since I was streaming last because we did it on Thursday. And whilst I like to stream during the week, I don't always get a chance to, so... Okay, let's see who got first. Captain Reed came first today. Congratulations, Mr. Reed. You are front running for the t-shirt. I came first on Jay's stream. Frame, thank you so much for being here. Storesness is here as well, so is Neodoid. Jabronus is here too with a pretty cute dog emoji. I say cute, it's questionable. Astoro, hey man, good to see you. Godzilla Waddle as well. Bazooka, thank you so much for being here. And Baron Ragnar too. Average Joe is here as well, so is Zizora and Catwood Keeps. Is Jim K Windbreaker happening for real, says Baron? Yeah. Soon. Get your wallets ready for October. More information coming really soon. I can't share anything just yet. I'm waiting for renders to be completed, which should be pretty soon. But Novel Keys, Zablotsky, Gion, PT, we should all be carrying it. Still working on the rest of the vendors and a few other bits and stuff, but yeah, it's happening. I think as soon as the renders are done, the IC will be posted. Quite will be posting an IC, but yeah, you can. It's happening. As far as I'm aware, nothing's changed. And certainly I've not stopped it, so yeah. Erites, thank you so much for being here. Bonjour. Ça va bien? I don't know, I answered for you because you're not here, so it would have been a weird one-sided conversation. Anarchy, thank you so much for being here as well. He says, hi Jay in chat, hope everyone is having a good weekend. I had a really good weekend, thank you dude. We had a party yesterday. It was Ellie's great aunt, that's my wife, Ellie's my wife. It was her great aunt's 90th birthday, which was kind of fun. So I met a lot of people I'd never met before. Lots of old people to help the seats and pour shandies for, which was good. Captain Redlock and Gadgetoid, thank you so much for being here. Blackbrook as well, Mr. Word, thank you so much for being here too. Curious if Jay is building my board on stream. I'm building a Manta keyboard. This is one of the prototype boards. It's not like a customer's board. It's something that Bowl sent to me from him. I'm going to be building it. I forgot to grab the switches. I'm going to have to go get the switches before we do the actual build. They're downstairs. I need to take them out of stock to build it. So yeah, because we're going to use the Gateron X R4 unlubed switches, so I need to take some out of stock to actually use them. I forgot to collect them whilst I was making my coffee, but I'll go get them in a few minutes. Chaos23, good evening. It's just BMT as well. Mo Chief and Bob Hotshot all here too. A-Man's here as well. So is Bulb. Jehovah in bed as well. Fred Zillosaurus Rex. Running Sushi says, what's up, Jay? I'm good, man. Hope you're doing well. Dan the Writer as well. Howdy, Jay and gang. Jehovah in bed, thank you so much for 3 months of subs, dude. Thank you so much. I like big boards and I cannot lie. I agree. I do like big boards. I like boards that have presence. Yeah, that's the word. Gravitas, like literal weighted gravity pulling you towards it. Ruby, hey, good to see you. Good evening everyone, unless Lando Norris. Yeah, Lando did not have a great time today. I didn't really catch the full race today, but I will be watching the highlights tomorrow morning, I hope. What keyboard is it? This one here. You can just put the exclamation mark keyboard into chat and it should tell you if I updated it. There you go. It's a JJW Cloudline V2, but it's the Overcast edition, which is a stainless steel one. And it's got Type R switches in it from Gateron and DCS Pepperbait keycaps. Hello, Jay. Are you unboxing the new QK Neo stuff, the Hex 80 or the Neo HCU? So, I don't actually know what it is. I know we've got one of everything coming, Keeper, but the box arrived on Friday, late on in the day, after Mel had gone. Neither of us have opened it up yet, so I don't actually know what's in it. I haven't really analysed the box to see. It does say Neo on it, and it does look like it's a 65 there, but we'll figure it out when I open it, because I haven't opened it yet, so... I genuinely can't tell you, because I know it's one of the new QK Neo boxes, keyboards. I just don't know which it is because I haven't opened it yet. So, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you've seen as much as I have, guys. So So like you have seen more because you will have analysed that more. I just literally saw the box on Friday, didn't really look at it or read anything on it, and I picked it up and brought it upstairs when I was carrying my coffee up. So yeah, I know very little on that one. A surprise for all? Absolutely, yeah. Treasure, you are never late, sir. You always arrive when you mean to, and that's just fine. Newfie, hello. It says it's the last day of August already. How in the world is it already the end of August 2025? Tomorrow is September of 2025. That means we've only got 3 months to Christmas. We've only got 4 months until the end of the year. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know why or how the time has gone so fast this year. And the older I get, and I know a lot of people say this, the older I get, the faster time seems to go as well. So the last 5 years of my life where I've been running Prototypist definitely have gone past quicker than the previous 5 years pre-Prototypist. It's insane. And it's like so one of the big things I want to talk about today is we actually we're having a bit of a team meeting tomorrow for a few different things here at the workshop. And one of the things we're having a team meeting about is, well, it has multiple facets to the conversation, but it's our 6th anniversary on the 1st of November. And it's like 6 years. 6 years. It's kind of crazy. So I think we want to do like a big PT birthday bash. And I think we want to do it by basically having an open day here at the workshop again. And I need to, like, this is just kind of ideas that are percolating around in the back of my head, right? I need to sit down with Mel and Sharon and actually make sure we can actually all make the same Saturday and make it work and make it happen. But we want to do it a little bit bigger this time, instead of it just being about coming to PT and catching up and seeing the stuff here. We want people to be able to bring their own boards and get some really good deals on the day. We want to do more on the free coffee side and take donations for the coffee again, like we did last time. But I'll need someone to run the coffee machine so I can actually, you know, meet people and say hi to people and stuff like that. We need to start planning out what we're going to do for like little goodie bags and little things like that. You know, what freebies are we going to do and what offers do we want to have? Yeah, so, but we want to kind of go all out. We kind of want to have like a big cake and do like cake for everyone who attends on the day. I think we're probably going to have to do it this time where it'll be a small ticket price, but the reason I want to do it as a ticket is so like £5 or something for the ticket, not a huge amount of money, like a small amount of money, but so that I can link the account that purchased the ticket to the discounts that we're going to give on the day, so we get all of the discounts automatically across our whole product range, and we don't have to stand there as staff and work out at the point of sale terminal everybody's discount depending on, you know, different products and different things. So there's a whole raft of kind of ideas I've got in my head for like our 6th birthday bash. And then I kind of like for the SPC guys, our Twitch subs who've supported us through the last 5 years of streaming as well. I kind of want to do something a little bit different for them and have something special for them happening. So there's kind of like a whole lot of different stuff going on. Unfortunately, my wife is an event manager, so she would be excellent at this. Unfortunately, she's spending most of September and October in Thailand for an event that she's managing over there. So she's not going to be around to help with this. And it's also her birthday in October, and Mel's birthday in October. So yeah, so there's a lot to do, kind of a lot to plan, and need to think of ways of doing it. And we want people to be able to bring their own boards to this one, so we're looking at options to have like a marquee outside that's put up on the day and have some big tables in there and all sorts of different things like that. So news coming soon, but I'm kind of a lot of this stuff that I'm saying, like Mel and Sharon haven't heard yet. So you know, like, please, like, take it with a pinch of salt how far and how deep we'll get into this. But I want to do like a big birthday bash for PT. I'm actually hoping as well to be able, I wanted to get a tattoo to commemorate PT for a long time. I'm hoping that I can get the tattoo artist to come here on the day and give me the tattoo during the event, because I thought that'd be quite fun and quite cool and quite quirky to do. So we'll see. We'll see. Lots of kind of like thoughts going on in my head about this and how we can do it. But yeah, we'll see. My son brought mince pies from the supermarket today. How did he get mince pies? Mince pies in August? That feels crazy. "116 days to Christmas." Dude, like when it gets that like 99-day mark, it's terrifying. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day. It really does. It really does. Gemma, thank you so much for the subs. How long was that for? 21 months. That's crazy. Crazy. I feel you, Jay. Years have gone faster and faster as I get older and older. Yeah. My 17 to 20 has run a lot faster than 21 to 25. Something about just loving every bit of my life right now. I feel you, man. I feel you. 60% discount? No, I can't do a 60% discount. Bojord, of course you can ask for recommendations. You can check out everything we sell on our website. It's prototypist.net. You can see the link down here. And we've got 30% off a massive range right now as well. In fact, I'll drop you the link so you can have a look at what we've got in the sale. So anything that's on this link once you add it to cart, gets 30% off. Bojo. Dan the Rice says, for the birthday bash, you should absolutely get yourself a get baked bertha. Maybe. I don't know. Like, we'll see. I'll do the coffee again. Mr. Blackbird, I might take you up on that. Evening all. Coffee Brothers. Yeah, you guys can man the coffee machine. Cake. Yeah. I'm from Bulgaria. My budget is around €80. I'd like 100% of the lesser variant. Lesser variant is TKL. So, yeah, without a numpad, it's called a TKL, which is what I have on my desk here. This would be a TKL, so no numpad. Meanwhile, the PT accountant is in the corner sweating. Yeah. Hire a tattoo artist and let's all get some keyboard tattoos to celebrate the birthday. Yeah, well, I want to have like the PT. It's not the PT logo as such, but there was a Switch design done for like a comedic anthropomorphic Switch, so like a keyboard Switch that was done for MK UK a few years ago, and myself, Matt the Pokemon Kid, and Bledin were all going to get it tattooed on ourselves. I think Bledin's the only one to this date that's actually had it done, but I was going to get that done, but instead of having the MK UK logo on the top of the Switch where it would usually say Cherry or Gator, I was going to have Prototypist put there and kind of have it done in PT colors and maybe some other little fun bits as well. So yeah, I need to figure it out and see if I can get a tattoo artist to come along. I do have a friend I went to high school with who is a tattoo artist who would probably do it for me. I haven't spoken to him in 25 years, but we were really good mates at one point, so I'm hopeful he'd do it. The PT accountant, I will need to have a long conversation with him about it. So yeah. Charity donations to select aspects of the tattoo. No. 5k and he gets it on his ass. Yeah, I'm gonna get it on my ankle, so I know where it's going. When is the party? Need to work out when it's going to be, but it's either going to be late October or early November, I think. So yeah, we'll figure something out. It's going to be an interesting one because like 6 years is kind of a crazy amount of time, and if you'd have told me 6 years ago that this is where PT would be right now, I would have not believed you. Like, I would have absolutely not believed you. Like, because I never intended PT to become what it has become. It was supposed to be something side of desk whilst I did my main career, and it has very, very quickly become an all-encompassing part of my life. Like, we can't make decisions about life without considering what that means for PT. Like, PT comes before anything else. So whether that's going on holiday or taking the weekend off, or what we're doing on an evening, sometimes it all comes down to what is the requirement for PT first, and then mine and my wife's lives could live under that. And that's not a bad thing. That's just it's very quickly gone from us living our lives above work, because work was like very much a secondary kind of thing, and it was like our lives were more important, and then work came underneath. Prototypist isn't just about me being a number for a company, it's about me running a company for a community, and what the community needs comes first. So it's very much flipped. It's kind of crazy how life is right now. Prototypist will be old enough to go to school. Yeah. I think your website has stuff way too advanced for me. I don't think so, Bojo. Like, dude, like, you might find something you're interested in. Watch the stream, and you might see how we make some stuff. It's pretty cool. What keycap set is on your current board? This is DCS Pepper Bait. There you go. Yeah, it's been on the board since we built it 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, something like that. Oh, blimey, that's soon. Hope I'm free. Jimmy, I think it's going to be like 8 to 10 weeks away. Like, I think that's a reasonable amount of time. We need a week to plan, 4 weeks to advertise, 3 weeks to do some doing. Yeah, so 8 to 10 weeks kind of fits. Pretty good. Pretty good. Come with me and you'll be in a world of pure magic. Keyboards. Yeah, that kind of doesn't work there. I like where you're going with that, Mr. Kalain, but that kind of doesn't work there. Purchased the Manta on Friday. Went all in with the SE edition. Nice. Yeah. The Manta is beautiful. It really is beautiful. Right, let's catch up with PT news, because we kind of digressed all of a sudden and went on to something that I was kind of thinking about as I was explaining it. But yeah, PT Birthday Bash coming soon. There's also something we're planning for, something wider for the community, that's going to be in the spring. Don't have a date for that yet either. Read into that what you will. But that's going to happen this spring. We have a venue and everything. We just need to check dates and figure that out. But that's going to happen in the springtime, late March, early April. Next shipment is about 3 weeks away from port now. So it's been at sea for 2.5 weeks, and it's got another just under 3 weeks to go. So there's been, for those that you don't follow the weather, there's been a typhoon in the kind of area where the ship is. So it's been docked for like 8 days and it hasn't moved. Hopefully, I think it's now moving again. When I checked it yesterday, it looks like it's going to start moving again. So hopefully we'll get that into port relatively soon. And then there's a ton of stuff on there, such as the rubber hose Kahakus. There's a ton of QK Neo products and all sorts of other stuff like Melatrix and Constance TKLs and a ton of other things as well. So there's a load of stuff that's going to be shipping out as soon as that arrives. We kind of need to plan out what that looks like, but we'll do that a week or so before the shipment arrives. But I think there's something like 8,000 orders that are coming in that container, plus extras that will then be listed on the website as in stock. So yeah, pretty excited for that. I think that's pretty much it for PT news. We talked about that. Oh, we should talk about the website, because there's stuff on there. I should do the whole shilling thing. I'm terrible at doing the shilling thing, but don't forget there is 30% off anything on the sales page. As soon as you add any of this to cart, like you could add the rubber hose desk mat to cart, you get 30% off it. Look, it's £22.40 including VAT instead of £32. 30% discount. It's cool. It's cool. And that happens on absolutely everything in this list. You can use the filters on the side to kind of like filter that down. So you can just say, oh, I just want to have a look at desk mats, or I want to have a look at keyboard kits, and it will kind of show you what's there and what's on sale. There's some pretty cool stuff. So please do take a look. That finishes at midnight tonight. So the sale on the website ends in about 3 hours and 40 minutes. So please do take a look at that if you're interested. Get on the website, do what you need to do. Get your orders in, because once the discount's done, it's done. That's it. In terms of other stuff, just to call out that the Manta is on its last day. Oh, hold on, the website's doing that thing because I've got it truncated on my screen. There we go. There we go. That's how it actually looks when you view the website. So on live group buys, you'll see that the Manta is on its last day. It's here. That's what we're going to be building today. Very, very beautiful bit of kit. Look at this base. We're going to have a really good close-up look at this later on. I've got the Sparkle Black edition of the board, but it's absolutely stunning. So yeah, so we're going to build one of these, but it's the last day today. It does finish, last day tomorrow. It does finish tomorrow night, Monday night. Monday is the last day to join. GMK CYL Gurakawa. I think this is the best GMK set of 2025 to date, and especially the Latin set. Like, look at how beautiful this is. Look at these colors. It is so beautiful. This finishes tonight, so it will be closed as of tomorrow, so make sure you're taking a look at that. Pick it up today if you want to pick it up. Also, the same for GMK Shaded. I've actually seen that GMK Shaded might be being extended for a week. I haven't gone through all my notes over the weekend, but I'm pretty sure Chippy's mentioned that GMK Shaded is going to be extended for a week. I need to double check that. If it's the case, we'll update the product listing tomorrow. So yeah, please do take a look at that. Oh, and support Just Beachy because it's struggling at the minute. Have a look at Just Beachy, and Kikobo Dolch also struggling. So please take a look at those if you want them to get made. Be very, very good. In terms of pre-orders, I want to call your attention to a couple of things. GMK Prussian Blue. This is already on its way from GMK to us. This is due to arrive this week. It will probably arrive on Friday. So I'm hoping that we can get the group buy orders out on Friday if it arrives early enough. And then we can get the extras listed on Friday night. If you want to get it at the pre-order price instead of the in-stock price, which will be a little bit higher than this, it's probably going to be another 15 quid more than this in stock, or 10 quid at least. Order it before the end of Monday because that's when I'll be taking the listing down. It will be finished on Monday, so get your order in. The German mod kits and the compatibility kit are already sold out. There won't be any extras for those either, I don't think. But the Nordic UK kit and the base kit are available. Please get your orders in. Don't complain to me if it's not available when we put it in stock. So yeah. Oh, and in stock drops, we just dropped GMK Hyperbeige in stock on Friday. It's been selling really, really well. There's not that many base kits left. I don't think we're quite down to single figures yet, but we're not a million miles away. We will be using this key set today unless you guys vote for something else. This would be my pick. You guys might vote for something else, but we'll see. But it's a beautiful, beautiful key set. Really, really nice. I actually prefer it just like this, as it comes in the base kit without all of the modifiers. But yeah, really, really nice kit. So yeah. Okay, don't forget as well, you can pick up Joe's Roastery. We sell our own coffee. These are all in stock. These ship as well really quickly by Royal Mail, and shipping's free for all of our coffee range too. I did record, for those following on socials for the coffee, I did record episode 9 of Roll for Caffeine. If you haven't seen it, it's where we play like Dungeons and Dragons, and this is where we're gonna roll some dice to make a coffee. Basically, it's like a character creation, but for coffee. Anyway, I did record two times. I tried to record episode 9. I tried to record an episode 9 at the same time as I recorded this episode that's playing in the background, and on that episode I had taken my jumper off and forgotten to taken my t-shirt off and put a different t-shirt on because I got coffee all down it, and I hadn't taken the mic off the old t-shirt, so I recorded without any sound. And then today, just before I started streaming, I recorded a whole episode, and I forgot to turn the microphone on. So it's like a little plug into the bottom of the phone. It's a little Rode microphone, little lapel one. I forgot to plug it into the phone, and I had the microphone on here, and of course it just didn't record. So yeah, I have now recorded episode 9 twice. I'm going to have to record episode 9. That's why it's not being uploaded today. I'm going to have to record episode 9 again tomorrow morning. Or try and do a voiceover, but that might be a bit crap. So I think we're just going to do episode 9 and 10 tomorrow, and just do like a dual release or something like that. But yeah, please do take a look at Roll for Caffeine because it's quite fun. It's quite fun. Yeah, we roll dice every day to, and you can follow us on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. But we basically roll dice. Soy Milk did you bad though throughout the past episodes to make episode 9. So episode 9, one of them was really, really bad, Jehovah, and the other one that I did today was good. So the one today was French vanilla, almond milk in a pour over. With maple syrup to top it off. Whilst it was really sweet, it was actually really, really nice, and it worked really, really well. Especially with because the fiction blend that I use here at the workshop predominantly is really, really good for espresso, but it's also my kind of taste when it comes to pour over as well, because it's kind of got like milk chocolatey kind of taste and feel to it. So it worked really, really well. The one for on episode 9 that I recorded on Friday that didn't work either, that was really bad, and I was actually nearly sick making it because it had I can't remember, it was peppermint and watermelon, and it was just it just did not work. It was so bad. It was so bad. But yeah, this one was really, really good. This is episode 7. So this was, I say it was really good. It wasn't really, really good, actually. It was soy milk with watermelon, a double espresso with another double espresso to top it off. Triple double espresso, watermelon, and soy. There you go. That's me recording it in our workshop. This is literally just at the side of me here. Yeah, so we've had some good episodes, we've had some bad episodes. Please do follow Jay's Roastery. Take a look on the website because we do some really nice coffees, and you can also see the daily roll for caffeine on there as well. You can play them all on here too. But I will get an episode 9 recorded properly tomorrow morning. I'll get it uploaded, and then I'll record another one in the afternoon for episode 10, so we're back on the correct cadence. That's what we'll do. Okay. I was wondering where episode 9 was today. Yeah, episode 9's cursed. Yeah, it really is cursed. Let's catch up with chat. Okay, where do we talk about? Didn't want the all copper fish personally, but they're beautiful for sure. Yeah, we don't have the all copper version here today. I will sing that song on PT's 6th birthday. I promise it will work. Maybe we could get you to sing some like little
tasty.
Clayton, if you're up for this, I was thinking about this the other day. I was going to ask you to sing some little clips of like little, 2-line things that just need to be like harmonious for the coffee stuff. Like if it's a good coffee, it could be like something positive, and if it's bad coffee, it could be like, oh no. There's some really good examples of this. I like to watch playing card trading game opening shorts on YouTube, and there's one guy that opens them, and he has little jingles that play, and it's, should I open it or should I keep it sealed? And there's some really cool little jingles, and I figured we could maybe do something like that for the coffee. So if you're down for that, I will let you know. I'll let you know. Want anything from Disney? Gemma, I want everything from Disney all the time. Kids are watching this morning, my favorite part of the movie. Quite an order then. Future me will be sad that present me didn't buy a Manta. Possibly. You can have a look at the Manta. I will let you borrow the Manta if I don't have to send it back particularly quickly, Mr. Blackbrook. Any chance the bowls can be added to the 30% discount since there's only 2 left? No, unfortunately not. Like if I gave like the stuff that we put 30% off on is kind of like old stock to try and shift it a little bit. We need some space in the workshop, and it's stuff that's just been sat around for a little while. The bowls are they've only been in stock for like 4 or 5 weeks, if that. So they're very much new stock, I'm afraid. I can't do a sale on those at the minute. Kim Jong-guru, Future Me will also be sad I didn't buy a Manta, but not if Future Me has backstock Pangea. Yeah, so the Pangea is on its way to us at the moment, and we're expecting to have extras of those. Kalain hates light keycaps. Kalain bought Gurakawa. What's your excuse? Would the Manta be a mortgage sacrifice? Maybe. Funnily enough, we're actually having to look at a mortgage at the moment, me and my wife, because we want to move house, and we're not really going for a house that's more expensive. We want to sell our current home and buy a house. I think it's like 80 grand more expensive at most. It's not like a huge, like, big jump up, but it's just the location that we want to be in. So we're currently looking into what that looks like and stuff. Just now you mentioned mortgages, so yeah. Got email it for extended until the 7th. My premonition last week came true then. Fair. No, Jay, best GMK set is Hyperbage. GMK Hyperbage is really, really good. It's lovely. I've got my set here. I want Gurakawa, but I'm hooked on getting Nerve-Wrecker. Nerve-Wrecker is going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. Mr. Coolkeys, hello. Been loving the roll for caffeine. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Episode 9 is cursed. I was wondering where episode 9 was. Yeah, like, it's not the first time I've recorded content for Roll for Caffeine and it's gone wrong. I think overall, like actual episodes, I think I've recorded 13 now, and we've only released 8 because things have happened or whatever. There was one where I burnt myself under hot water. It was fine, like it didn't mark the skin or anything, but at the time it was really, really hot, and I shouted and swore, and yeah, that was not good. And because I kind of threw the coffee into the sink, like I then had no coffee, and I didn't want to go through the whole thing and remake it. And then the one today where it didn't record the sound because I didn't check it. Just I need a little checklist of things to do before I press record, and that should be on there. D&D and coffee are like two of my favorite things. Yeah, I'm hugely into coffee. That's why I have a coffee company. So yeah. Any changes to shipping to the US with tariff updates? So Baron, US tariff shipping. We have experienced no one has reached out and said, Jay, I got tariffs off the back of this shipment yet. We have shipped stuff last week. Most of that's been delivered. There's about 15 or 20 packages that are still in flight, and looks like they're going to be delivered after the de minimis stuff because that happened on Friday. So far, they are clearing customs just fine. No issues, no tariffs, no fees, nothing like that. One of the things that I am looking into and will be enabling this week is the fact that we're going to ship things to the US under DDP, which is duties, deliveries paid. And that means at checkout, you will see a line for the price, you'll see a line for the shipping cost, and then you'll see a line for the duties. You'll pay it all at checkout, the tariff costs, you'll pay it all at checkout, and then I will pay that for you and cover paying the bill, and you won't have to do anything. You'll just order from us like normal. It'll be a little bit more expensive, yes, but we will cover and sort out all of the paperwork for you. So yeah, that's going to happen this week. There'll be an announcement when that happens. Free Juice, thank you so much for 33 months of substitute as well. Episode 9, the cursed episode. Just skip from episode 8 to 10. Maybe. One of them will be a ghost screen for the avoidance of doubt. Nice. Who made your neon sign behind you? A local company that just makes neon signs. They make them all the time. I lost my inheritance getting the artisans for Gurkha. Nice. If you really want to know the name of the company, I can probably get it for you. Neon Filter. It was the rep that we had was called Sally. She works at neonfilter.com. Let me get a link. It was from here. I think it was very affordable. Let me see if I can find the invoice for it. Yeah, Neon Filter. Jay, we're getting your order ready to be shipped. Blah blah blah. Design and proofing service free. It was £188.24 plus VAT. Yeah, so there you go. It's 100 centimeters wide, cut to shape with green LEDs. £188.24, £31.37 in VAT. Free shipping. It's pretty good. Don't ruin it. Only on episode 2 now. Wait, what? Jay, have you been watching Alien Earth? I haven't. No, I'm going to wait for the whole season to come out and then I'm going to catch up on it. Yeah. Honestly, as a US person, I prefer prepaying. It might sound strange to other countries, but we're really not used to paying duties, and our financial literacy relies a lot on the state we went to school in. And our personal motivation. Sorry, I don't know if you heard that. My headphones are low on battery. Let me see what the percentage is at. Okay, we should be okay for the stream. There's about... It's just talking to me, telling I need to recharge them. So yeah. We're going to try and turn it on. I was playing with it over the weekend, but I'm not confident it's doing exactly the right thing at the moment. So I want to make sure that... the tariff charges are correct. There's a little fly in here. Oh, did I get it? No, I thought I'd got it. I could have sworn I caught it. Oh, it's here. Little. It's gone. Yeah, little fly. So yeah, so we're gonna try and turn it on. I've been playing with it over the weekend, trying to make sure it charges the correct DDP. But what I've having to be doing is I've been having to go to each individual product, work out what the DDP, what the tariff charge would be on entry to the US, based on some dummy US addresses. And then making sure the software that we have in the back end, which comes from DHL, actually applies the correct one to it. So it was coming up with a line item, but then it wasn't showing the correct tariff. It calls it duties, but it's the tariff charge. But it wasn't showing the correct amount. So we do have the rep coming from DHL tomorrow afternoon. He's going to be here at the workshop. I'm going to get him to show me what I'm doing wrong, and then he can fix it. And then once we've done that, we'll put up an announcement explaining that that's how we're going to do it. We already do something very, very similar for EU customers, which works really, really well. It's slightly different because that's iOS, which is a whole thing that's designed to do this for us. But effectively, we ship those with all the duties and taxes prepaid, so the customer doesn't have to worry about import duties. And that's been working fine for the past 3.5 years. So we're pretty confident we can do it for the US, and we're pretty confident once we get it going, it'll work just fine. I just want to make sure and double check and fine tune it with the DHL right before we start to turn it on. Jay, do you know if there will be any extras of the rubber hose boards? Yes, there'll be extras of both the Jane and the Kahaku. The only thing is they will be first available for a set period of time, which I think will be like 48 hours, for anyone who bought the key set who didn't already buy the keyboards. So if you bought one of the rubber hose key set from us and you still want to buy a keyboard, we're going to offer it to those customers first. They'll have 48 hours or something like that to respond to us and say yes, I'd like to buy one, only if they already haven't bought one. And then after that, we will then open it up to anybody who wants to buy one of the keyboards. So yeah, that's going to be the plan. I hope that makes sense. Right, let's take a look at a keyboard. Because, oh, we've still got the browser up. There we go. Because we got this keyboard in. Ugh. No doxing here because it's only got the company address on it, which you can Google. So there is no need to worry about looking for addresses. This was delivered from QK Neo. I'm not actually sure what keyboard this is, but we will find out as we open it up, because I've got a load of sample keyboards coming from them at the minute, based on a whole range of the stuff that they're doing. So I'm not quite sure which this one is. It's pretty chunky by the weight of it. There goes the box. Depleted Vespine, how are you doing, man? Good to see you. I think it's a 65 based on the size. It's not quite big enough to be a TKL. This is definitely a 65%. But we'll see. I do have the new 80 coming, so we'll see when that comes. Microphone Assassin, thank you so much for being here. Let's see what we get. First up, we have some feet. And an O-ring. And some screws. All sorts of ooh, it comes with a plate fork and stabilizers. That's interesting. That's pretty cool. And there's a PCB in the back there as well. I think you're right. 65 core plus. I think, yeah. I hadn't really looked at the box since it arrived, because it arrived on Friday. Ugh. I have no idea what colorway this is, because the review units that we get, we don't really get to pick what colorway we get them in. Oh, this is nice. Super, super nice. Gotta love that. Let's take a look at the PCB. So here's a PCB. All the foams as normal hot swap PCB with the standardized magnetic connector now. Really nice. So yeah, so we'll be building this on stream probably next week. Ooh, that was a horrible noise. I apologize. That was my fingers on the plastic. This looks like the navy colorway. It looks slightly purple in the lighting. It may be purple. It's dark in here. I can't really tell. Navy or purple. But there's some cool stuff we could do there. It might look really good with hyper beige, actually. Yeah, the copper base does look really nice with the purple. Hyper beige, yeah. Hex 80 is a pre-built, I'm pretty sure. It is, yeah. We are getting a Hex 80 that is coming, but I don't know when it's going to arrive. It is a new purple, yeah. back in there. Pack it without rolling it all up. There we go. Cool. So we'll be building this next week. I'm going to take it out of the wrapper just now for you. Is this ISO or un-ISO? This can be built ISO or ANSI, this hot swap PCB. So we will decide. We'll decide when we take a look at the board next week. Void me. Let's open up the case a little bit better. Yeah, that purple's really, really nice. Whoops. It's pretty color accurate right there. It's very, very smooth and shiny. It was super, super nice. Nice side profile and big slab of copper base. Cool. Yes, we'll have an ISO build. And that's going to be next week's build stream, I think, which I'm pretty much looking forward to. Green keycaps then. Maybe. Getting a Cadbury's vibe off it. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I do have SA Amazing Chocolatier and the GMK version as well. But today we're building a Manta. So let's get the build kicked off. We took a look at the board the other day, but we'll have a quick review of it. Now, this board has been previously built. It's a prototype that's been doing the rounds, I think, a little bit. So we do have a couple of different gaskets. We have a PCB that has been desoldered. As you can see. I watch so many VODs, I have a mustache now. This should support ISO, because it does say ISO enter here. And it does have the ISO build, so let's build it ISO. Let's build it ISO today. Don't forget, guys, as well, that the components are on the top of the PCB on this one. So rather than being on the bottom like they usually are, this board, they're on the top. So we're going to use a slightly different plate fork for this. Polycarbonate plate. Purple would look sick with GMK 88. Yeah. Yeah, probably would. I don't think you're wrong there. Since it's ISO, you can log off now. And here we have the sparkle black cakes. There is sparkles in it, I promise. The camera really struggles to pick up the sparkles, but it is sparkly black with this lovely piece of copper on the bottom. Okay, first things first, let's take the board apart. Let's get a tray for the screws. I think this is the size screwdriver we need. Oh, do we need a slightly bigger one? Yeah. Oh, hang on, wait a second. Is this a screw? Oops. If this is a screw that's between sizes, do I need to dig out one of my rarer sized screwdrivers here? I do. It's not that size either. What on earth size have they used for this? That feels too small. Yeah. Are we sure that didn't fit? Okay, so this is the correct size, but that first screw has been rounded off. We may have already hit a problem here, but I'm sure we can overcome that. This is interesting. This screw does not appear to be a standard size. That's going to fit better. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I'm actually using a Torx screwdriver in the hex now, just because it fits a little bit better, even though it's not a Torx screw. But that's okay. I think these have just been rounded off a little bit. This board's been used a few times, I believe, as a prototype. So I think the screws are just rounded off a little bit. It's been a while since I attended an ANSI build. What was the last board we built ISO on the stream? I can't remember. What do I think of the angled screws? So I actually like having the screws on an angle, and what we mean by this is I actually got a 45-degree angle into the case here. Easy to show when I take the case off. So you can see the screw holes here are at a 45-degree angle to connect the top and the bottom case together. Camera, please. Camera, focus. Yeah, so you can see here they're at a 45-degree angle. Bion's been using this successfully in keyboards for a while, and you kind of have this stand here that takes a screw. I think they're a good idea. I've never used them on a board that I've designed, but I think they work pretty well. I want to take off the base just to have a look at it, just because we can. I think we need this size screwdriver. We do. When Jay tips out a tub and has to sort through the keys. Hey man, that's part of the fun. It's all part of the fun. What's the benefit besides less scratching opportunity? Putting the screws on an angle. You can have larger screws, so you get a better connection. So you can use an M3 screw, which is these ones. So you have a 3mm thick screw instead of an M2 screw, because you can only do, if you're going straight down, you need to be able to get the screw between the plate and the case. So the benefit is being able to use larger screws and easier access. Okay, let's take a look at the base. What a pretty bit of machining that is. Even though this is all hidden away, such a pretty bit of machining. Look at that. Super nice, super clean, super cool and comfortable, collected. What a nice piece of copper. See how it's got that subtle curve to it as well? Really, really nice. Straight on this edge, then curved on this edge. Super nice curve in here as well. And then you can see the base is actually just flush and flat, and that accepts it as a receptacle, just like so. Excellent. Okay, so now we've had a look at that, we can put it back together. Come on, screw. Why don't you want to go in? Start in the corner. There we go. So pre-typing tests, I think could change. Which do you prefer, Manta or Oblique? I think both boards are very different in terms of the sensibilities they attract to. I like both. If I had to pick one, I mean, you know, the Obliques are 60 as well. This is a 65. If I had to pick one based on design and looks, I would probably pick Manta for me. But both are fine boards. I don't think you could be wrong with either of them, to be honest. Pretty impressive machining. Yeah, I agree. What have you been up to, Depleted Vespine? It's been a while since I've seen you around, dude. I hope you're well, but it's been a while since I've seen you around. I'd get Manta if it was a 60. I'd love to see a... I'd actually love to see a range of the Manta keyboards. I'd like to see a TKL version as well. I know you said a 60. I would love to see a 60, but I'd also like to see a TKL version as well. I think a TKL could be really, really nice. Oh. That was an interesting noise. That's the rubber feet on my desk mat. Interesting. Okay. Time to put the board together. I think I have some stabilizers. Ready for it? Here we go. Let's get our tools ready. Lay out a cloth so I can lubricate up the stabilizers. Okay. Give me that base and a TKL. Absolutely, I'd love to see a TKL version of this. I live for the day we get HHKB. That'd be nice too. Praying for a TKL version. I have too many 65% boards. 65% is very popular in the hobby. Right, okay. So let's plan this out. We need backspace. We need... we have to, these are Type Plus, so we have to assemble these as we assemble the board. Come on, Jay, why did you pick this up that way around? You knew that was a bad idea. Yeah, Alex decides to be great. I'd like to do an 1800 next. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I kind of get that. I kind of get where he's coming from on that. We're going to do the JO3 at some point soon. I've got a meeting in a day or two about it because I want to kind of get that project off the ground pretty soon, which is our take on an 1800. Ivan's POV. How do you manage all the stock, both financially and physically as a vendor? I mean, the stock is in the warehouse next to me. So if you ever watch our Instagram, you'll see me walk around the workshop and share pictures and videos of the workshop itself, which is full of stock. I can probably just about pan the camera around to it. Hold on, let me load up the software to control the camera, and I will see if I can pan it around and show you the actual workshop itself. Okay, if I do this, oh, wrong way. If I do this, so you'll see a window coming up to the side of me just here. The workshop's through there. My office is on the first floor. If I keep going round, it should, you can just about see there's a second window there. That's where we keep all the stock. So yeah, there you go. There you go. That's where we keep all the stock. How do we manage it? Like any business would manage stock. We have it all labeled. We have it all numbered. We have a map of the workshop with each shelf labeled. We know where every product is. Customers place an order, we go grab the product, we put it in a box, we put a label on the outside of the box, we ship it. If it's a group buy or a pre-order, that's all we need. We just need the spacebar now. I think we use 7U on this, right? I'd like to do it. Oh, actually, do you want to? I want to do a 6.25U spacebar on here. I think I want to do 6.25U. Yeah. Yeah, so we manage group buys and pre-orders by keeping track of them, keeping track of the numbers. We have whole reams of spreadsheets that we use for that, and a Notion as well, which you can also see the public version of on our website under group buy updates. How do we manage finances? We have a bookkeeper and we have an accountant, and they manage the finances for us. Okay, I'm not going to put the pads on because I'm pretty sure I have to send this board back. So we're just going to lubricate these up and then install them. Are you not lubing the stabs? Yeah, these are Type Plus. If you haven't seen Type Plus before, they the stabilizers connect through a hook, so that the hook has to go all the way through. So because of that, if you assemble them after you've lubricated them, you basically end up, because you have to put the hook through. Let me show you one up close. So the housings are made of two parts. So you have the standard, and they're handed. So the left hand and the right hand sides are slightly different. So you can see here that the hole is on this side. If you look at the stabilizer, you'll see that it goes into the hole. Come on, camera, focus. Goes into the hole on that side of the stabilizer, and then the other one is a mirror image because they have a left hand and a right hand side for the stabilizer. And also the inserts that go inside the stabilizer are left-handed or right-handed as well. So you see here that on the base is cut away on half the side of it. Camera, please focus. The base is cut away on half the side of it. So when you assemble it like so. It's really hard to show you. Like so. The housing slides in there. And then once you've slid the housing in, what you have to do is you have to basically contort space and time to twist the hook round. So we're going to push the hook in. I'll try and do this up here. I'm going to push the hook in through the side. Hold on. It's hard to do it when I'm not looking. I'm going to push the hook in through the side. I tell you what, let me zoom in the camera and I can do it low down so I can see what I'm doing and show you. Okay, so we're going to push the hook in through the side and effectively trap it in that bar at the bottom there. Trap it in there. So what we're going to do, we're going to push the hook in. We're going to twist it around. We're going to make sure it's hooked in place. Can you see it's now hooked in? Then once it's hooked in, we need to lift it up and over the front and then clip it in. And then the hook is in one half of the stabilizer on the side where it needs to be. Now the other side is a mirror image of this side, and you have to hook that in as well. So because of that, and because it's like contorting a little bit to get it in, it's much easier to lube these when they're assembled because you can access the whole of the wire underneath. So you don't need to assemble it lubed. You can lubricate it after you've assembled it. I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense. And that's why in the box you have the right hand and the left hand stabilizers separate. You could draw a line down. That piece goes with that piece. That piece goes with that piece. You can't put that piece in that piece or that piece in that piece. You have to use the matching pairs. So yeah, hope that helps. Hope that helps. I may have just put too much lubricant on this. And then what we can do is we can lubricate the inside of the stabilizer. That's way too much actually. I've got way too much coming off this. Give me a sec. There we go. So we can lubricate the inside nice and neatly. We can then come around the outside and we can push the wire up into the stabilizer and round the base as well. And we get all of the wire. And then we want a very, very thin coat just on here, just to make sure it's nice and smooth, not gumming the works up, just to make sure it's nice and smooth. And again, push that in, coat the wire all the way around, go up inside, down and round. And then a very, very thin coat just on there. Just on there. And that's how we lubricate these stabilizers. I think I've probably Type Plus. My favorites have like 6 I've probably built around 250 keyboards with Type Plus stabilizers now, something like that. Yeah, something like that. Like we do a lot of build service for customers off stream as well. Jay's giving us a finger. Sorry, I didn't mean to give you the finger. Having the long pole switches, they sound great. So I was going to use. I need to go get the switches actually because I was planning on using Gateron X R4 unlubed switches. I was planning on using those. But if you guys would rather see me build with Sonia's, I can do that. Maybe a friendly mod could set up a quick poll. Do you want to see Sonia's or Gateron X? And then I can go get those. Yeah, we still have some of the loop pens in stock. They're very, very useful. Where'd I put the lid? There it is. Okay, let's get these into plain PCB. How are you spelling Sonia's? Exactly like that. Are Sonia's long polling? I thought they were off memory, but I may be wrong. I may be wrong. It should say on the product listing. I've been waiting to use them in a build for a little while. I didn't get the Neo 65 Sonic just yet, but I do have one on the way to me, yeah. Is XHT better than 205 grade 0 then? For stabilizers, yes, I think slightly. I have no problem lubing stabilizers with 205 grade 0. I tend to use that most of the time. I just have one of these lube pens on the go, so I'm using it up. But once it's used up, I probably won't buy another XHT BDZ. I'll probably just stick to using 205 grade 0 because that's what I tend to use with my lube pen. Sonia's? Okay, cool. We can do Sonia's. Okay, let's get this built ISO. In before I get a message from Ball saying Jay doesn't work in ISO. I'm sure it does. And you spelled Sonia wrong. Oh no, I pushed the stabilizer out. There we go. How long would you say a pen lasts you in the refillable? They're not refillable, no. I mean, the pens last... I've probably done 30 keyboards with that one pen so far, and it's only about half used up for stabilizers. So I've been using it for a few months now. So they're not refillable, but they last a long time. So, you know, unfortunately, they're just to make a refillable one is actually, given how infrequently you need to top it up and refill it, they become less sustainable as a responsibility. Check with Ball, it works. He's tested it with this prototype. He did message me about something that didn't work, and I've forgotten what he said. I'm refillable, but I don't last a long time. As long as it's not like 10 boards a pen. Even 10 boards a pen would be great. Like, you know, a pen's £6. They're not like £100. It's like £6, you know. Bowl announced you building it ISO early today, so if there was an issue, that was the time to tell you. Yeah, I don't check my DMs on Discord on weekends because I'm like my Discord DMs basically mean work, and weekends I'm not at work, so I tend not to check them. There's like 4 or 5 people that can get through that kind of filter that I have for weekend for weekends. Yeah. So right, okay. So do we decide we're going to Sonia's then? Is that what we voted for? Because if that's the case, I'll grab some. €1 for looping stabs is a little steep. What? What? €1 for a keyboard? So you're telling me you're spending? Let's say you bought this. You spent 350 to 400 euros on a keyboard, and looping the stabilizer at a cost of stabilizers at a cost of €1 for $1 for a 400 euro keyboard kit. So that's like 0.25% of the value is expensive. You could just use regular BDZ. Yeah, it's a bit more pricey. I would expect the loop pens to be more pricey than standard BDZ because it's a loop pen brush. It's an all-in-one applicator. I think that should be a little bit more expensive than just the BDZ on its own. I don't know. I'm happy to have this discussion, but I think that's a bit of a strange way of looking at it. Interesting. Convenience comes with the price. Yeah, well, it's not the convenience. It's the convenience is the byproduct of the extra product you're buying, right? You're not buying the lubricant. You're buying an applicator tool. You're buying a tool that does part of the job for you, right? Oh, actually, I need to get my plate tool. I use my finger rather than a brush. Something tells me that these aren't gonna hold the PCB. Let me lift this out of the way. The cloth is just a little bit soft to be pushing switches in on. Yeah, okay. So what I'm finding here is that these are just going to lift off. They're not actually grabbing hold of the PCB. So, but we'll keep going. They'll grab when we solder. Kit comes with one of those new forks. These? No, these are for sale separately. It's basically a plate fork. You push it through the switch hole and then it's set so that that's exactly the depth of a switch between the plate and the PCB. So it holds the plate up. So when you're pushing the switch in, the plate can't compress, and it does that because the components are on the top of the PCB for this board. So if you did it with a traditional plate fork and you were sliding the plate fork through, you could potentially rip off some of the components. I use a painting brush and just splash it on. Can you imagine? Just like a 2-inch brush, just whacking lubricant across everything. Why don't you start in the corners? Chaos 23. So when you're building a plate and PCB assembly, if you start in the middle and work your way out, you will reduce any stress on any individual component. If there is a slight deviation in machining across the whole width of the PCB or the plate, and you start in the corner, by the time you get over to the other corner, you'll be putting a lot of stress on the part. If you start in the middle and work your way out, you're evening out that stress. It's just a thing that I've learned from engineering, that if you have the ability to start in the middle with something and work your way out, that's what you do. So for example, if you're talking an engine cover down, for example, you will start in the middle and work your way outwards usually, or alternating points, or you'll use points that are diametrically opposed, so that you are ensuring that you spread out any torsion and any resistance across the parts. It used to be more of an issue in keyboards years ago than it is now. A lot of the early plate tools, or like the plate generator tools, like Swill KB, would have a slight tolerance issue. So you'd be 0.2 of them, 0.2 millimeters out by the time you went from this side to this side. So if you started at one side, you get to this side, you couldn't force the switch in. You'd be like sitting at an angle. Whereas if you started from the middle and worked out, the two on the ends would be only slightly out, but they feel fine and be secure enough to be able to be soldered. Is there a benefit of having a component's top side, or is it just design choice? It allows you to have the PCB sit slightly lower in the case, and it also just makes it a little bit easier to solder because there's nothing you're going to catch on the bottom side. Plus it leaves a sleeker look on the underside, especially if you're going to do something like a tape mod or something like that. You don't have any components to worry about. So it's just an aesthetic thing more than anything else as far as I'm aware. I'm not aware of any kind of engineering benefit. I use a cat's tail. Nice. I suspect it was just aesthetic, Jehovah. Yeah, you can use the print file for these for free if you want. If you want one that's pre-printed in PETG, we have them available in the shop. Yeah, it's up to people if they want to print their own, dude. I don't mind. I think we printed about 50 out just in case people wanted them. A lot of people have just added them to their Manta orders, which is fine. And we'll just chuck them in when it comes to it. Resident Yepper, hey man, good to see you, dude. Completely lost track of time, and then I remembered there's a Manta Build tonight. Yeah. Plan to pick one up next time we order it in stock. Yeah. We did them in this nice pistachio green color in PETG. As you can see, they're pretty nice prints. Yeah, the Manta's there. Yeah, it's a sparkle black one. We try the TRM keyboard versus HL. I don't think so. So excited about the Manta. It's my first keyboard group buy. Nice, man. And that's a good friend buying you a keyboard. Welcome to the rabbit hole. It is very much like that. We had a visitor to the workshop the other day who was interested in keyboards, and he gave me a phone call before he turned up, and I tried to explain to him that he was a little bit like Alice at the top of the rabbit hole. Gave him kind of very similar to kind of Morpheus' stick in the Matrix. It was quite funny. He completely understood it though. He completely understood it. Okay, let me see if I've got some 1.25G keys here. Oh, just to make sure we get this all laid out properly. Do I? No, not there. This is where you can see one of the keycap choices for tonight. Why can I not find any 1.25U keycaps? Come on. I know there's a load in here, so why can I not find them? There's one. There's two. There's a beard hair. The only downside of having a glorious beard is the fact that you molt sometimes. So what we're doing here is just triple checking the switch spacing as we put them into the plate and PCB assembly, just making sure we get the keycaps in the correct positions. And then we know that 6.25U spacebar will sit there, and then we can take keycaps off. We can put one there. And one there, and that should now work just fine. Cool, that's all of our switches now installed. Expensive month again with the Manta and the 2100X. Nice. Probably order one at some point closer to Manta shipping. Fair, yeah. Midnight Rainbow. Midnight Rainbow's coming back soon. We are gonna do. We're gonna do a 24-hour or 48-hour form where people can fill it out. I'm gonna order all of the key sets to fit in stock. The people who fill out the form will then either be picked from the raffle or not to order a keycap set. We're not going to do the traditional group buy, just because like I don't think the market's big enough for the keycap set as it is right now. So yes, that's how we're going to do it. And that's going to happen towards the back end of September. Somehow all my cables down here have got tangled up. There we go. That's better. You swear I'm a hypnotist? Wait, what? Why? 21XX. Yeah. 21XX is nice. Okay, so whilst the soldering iron is heating up, I'm just going to double check all of the switches to make sure that there's no bent pins, no missing pins. Just make sure every point is going to be able to be soldered successfully. Probably going to have to just do some corner points first. looks good. So because the switches aren't fully held in to the PCB, they're not 100% grabbing on. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to solder a switch pin in the middle, and then I'm going to firmly push that into position, re-solder the point, and then we know it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to do the same in the corners. Let's zoom in so you guys can see a little bit better what we're doing here whilst we solder. Going to do the same in one of the corners, or each of the corners. Just going to solder a pin, then we're going to push down, make sure the switch is fully in place, refill the solder, and then let go once it's soldered in position. I'm going to do that for each of the corners, and that's just going to give us some rigidity and make sure that all of the switches are now pulled into the correct alignment. How have I got lubricant on my hand? Not quite sure how I've managed that. Okay, so now we've done that, we can go through and we can solder all of the pins on all of the switches. And this is actually a really good time. So, for you guys to ask me questions. So if you want to ask anything about PT, about me, about anything in general, can be keyboard related or not, I'll try and answer anything at all that you ask me. Why don't you just type in @JPrototypist and ask your question, and whilst I'm soldering, I'll answer anything. I'll be completely open, completely honest. Nothing is off limits. You can ask any question you like. Need to start your Notion page to track it all? Absolutely. Trying to avoid buying the oblique currently. Nice. We built the oblique the other day. I think I need to figure out what we're doing with the oblique, whether we're opening up a pre-order for it or not. Gotta get into Midnight Rainbow R1, and ISO 2, very nice key set. Yeah, ISO will be included this time around. I'm just waiting on GMK to do the finalized quote, and then we'll start advertising when the form's going to be up. So yeah, Twitch subs will get an automatic purchase slot if they want one. They'll still have to do it in the set period of time, but they'll get an automatic purchase slot, and then every other slot will be raffled. Any questions on here yet? I watched so many. What now? Wait, what? What did I say I watched? What's the prize this week? Best question. Whoever asks the best question, which of course is going to be really subjectively picked by me, will win a free desk mat. I'll send you a desk mat wherever you are in the world. I've got some really nice ones that I found in the workshop the other day that aren't technically in stock anymore, but are really nice. So whoever asks the best question, I will send you a free desk mat wherever you are in the world. How about that? All you need to do, ask a question, and then I'll pick one of the questions at the end for being the best question. Okay, one row done. How much margin do you make from a GMK set? Holy Monkey, it depends from GMK set to GMK set. On average, across all keyboard related products, we make around 10%. 10% is roughly the margin that we make. So that's gross, that's before staff, that's before insurances, that's before warehousing and everything else. We aim for a 10% gross margin on most things. And that's, you know, the only thing that is counted before that is designer royalties, because we know roughly what the designer is going to make. But yeah, we generally aim for about 10% margin on most products, which is, my accountant tells me that is significantly low, and we should be aiming for a lot more. But, you know, it's where we are. Do you think Boneyard will come back one day? It will do eventually, but it was only last year it ran again, so yeah. Uh, Blackbrook says, if the Swatch Amiga bigwig called you tomorrow and asked you to design a new Moonswatch colorway to be added to the current offering, how would you design it? What colorway, and would it be an homage to a current Amiga? Oh, dude, that's a really good question. That's a really good question. I would probably want to do something in a much lighter baby pink than the current editions of the Moonswatch out there. I would like to do it Macmillan stroke breast cancer awareness themed, because that's what killed my mother. So, well, technically it wasn't. Technically, she died from lung cancer, but it was originally breast cancer that then metastasized into her lungs. But yeah, so I would probably do something along that kind of things. No fume extractor. No, like this is leaded solder, but you're not heating the solder up to a point where you're going to actually turn the lead into a vapor, because we're not doing it at 1600 degrees, so there's nothing really to be worried about. There's the Roycin, which is probably not great, but I've been soldering for years. The damage has already been done by now. I don't see the need of a fume extractor particularly. It's not like I'm breathing in the fumes directly. They're just dispersing into the room. It's no worse than walking outside and going past a car that's driving, or sitting next to someone on a park bench that's having a cigarette. There are far worse things in the world that will kill us than sitting with a fume extractor needed in the office. Too many people complain about the noise on stream as well. What the heck are switch films? So, this is probably going to need me to explain a little bit. When you open a switch, you can see there's a clear delineation between the top half of the switch and the bottom half of the switch. When you open a switch by prising open these prongs on either side, you end up stretching them a little bit. And switch films originally were designed to put between the top housing and the bottom housing, in that gap there, so that when you put them back together, it kind of like pushed them apart a little bit, just a fraction, just to tighten these up. Since then, people have used them for switches because the housings might have slight tolerance issues anyway, so they've become more of a general use for creating that stopping the tolerance being a differentiator between the top and the bottom housing, effectively. But originally they were designed because opening a switch would make them looser, and they've gradually just been adopted into other switches that already have a loose top housing. So yeah, so that's what they're for. They're designed to go between the top and the bottom housing. They kind of sit on the flat of the switch when you open it up. That's it. What key do you think should be standard on a keyboard but have no hope for it to show up or come back into existence? I really like the rub out legend. I think that's a really, really cool legend that used to be very predominant in old symbolic style keyboards and isn't anymore. It'd be nice if that came back as a legend. It is in some sets. You can, like, a couple of the Blotsky sets have used it in the past and things like that, so it is out there. But I'd like it to come back into more generalized use, I think. Other than that, I'd also like to see more F keys. I quite often, like, I have a little macro pad down at the side here where I can switch the scene by pressing on the buttons. They're basically just mapped to some of the higher numbered F keys. So I'd like to see higher F keys sometimes. XT columns as well. Always like XT columns. If a keyboard could perfectly represent a person's personality, which switch or keycap set would you choose for yourself and why? For me, I don't know, like, I think I'd have to be able to have a good handle on myself for that, and I probably am a little bit narcissistic. I probably share too much sometimes. I'm a people pleaser. I can be loud and brash, but I can also be quiet and reserved depending on the audience I'm around and what other people need out of me. I think that the keyboard that would best suit me would change on a daily basis depending on who I'm interacting with and what the circumstances are and what the kind of position is. Some days it's loud and brash, like the Type R switches. Other days it's, Gator inks on a CF plate, kind of poppy, which is probably where I peg myself most of the time. I'm generally a pretty positive person rather than negative, but more on the realist side than the hyperactive side, if that makes sense. So I'd probably say that. Jay, do you have any opinions about public schools, more specifically what they're missing educating the masses? So, Kabumomi, here in the UK, a public school is a private school. It's a school that you would pay to attend, and you would probably be quite wealthy. A famous example in the UK of a public school is Eton, which is where something like 35% of our prime ministers have attended school. So it's very different. So clarify for me on that question. Do you mean a public school as in a comprehensive that anyone would attend, which is the kind of school I went to, or do you mean a public school as in he's a public school boy, i.e. he went to private school and he paid to go to it? Let me know. So vendor take all the risk, but GMK makes all the profit. So the designers get a nice cut as well. Designers will make a small amount per base kit sold. But yeah, I think GMK's cost to produce is quite high. And as a vendor, we make about 10%. No one's getting rich being a vendor. Let me put that out there. No one is getting rich being a vendor. I think that's a common misconception. So to make it completely clear, being a vendor, even if you sell £1 million worth of stock a year, by the time you've invested in buying other stock, you ain't making much money. 10% is LOL nope kind of margin. Yeah, I agree. So Jay, if you could combine 2 inventions to make something new, what would they be? Some sort of coffee keyboard. Not sure how that would work though. Do you know what I would like to do? I would like to have, so I'm big into espresso type drinks. I would love to have a keyboard built into my espresso machine so that I could control certain aspects of it. So, I mean, my particular espresso machine is very mechanical. It's a hand lever driven machine, so it's a little bit different. But if I had a machine like Blackbrook does, which he has a decent espresso machine, that is something that you can control and change flavor profiles and do all sorts of different kind of stuff. It'd be really cool if you could edit that on a keyboard live and that was your input device. It would be really cool for that. Realistically, I think there's some other things I would probably rather do. I think. I mean, when it comes to putting 2 things together, I'd like to. Do you know what would be really cool actually? If I could get my daily hit of caffeine just by typing. If there was some way of transferring caffeine from, say, keycaps into fingertips, that could be quite cool. Like an absorption method from typing on keycaps. Maybe we could do something like that. And maybe you could have like an aroma come off of the keyboard so it felt like you were tasting it at the same time. That's what I'd like to see. That's something there. Most coffee machines have buttons. Can't see the advantage of adding MX switches. My coffee machine doesn't really have buttons. It does have a couple, but one part's a little touchscreen, which is used for most of the machine settings, such as pre-infusion time and stuff like that. And there are a couple of buttons, one for each group head. But the rest of it is all lever driven. So there's no pump in my machine. It's all manual lever driven. It's an ACS Vostok, which is a pretty cool machine made in Naples in Italy. So yeah, little bit different there. I do have a more standard type of espresso machine at home. Eagerly waiting on a military themed GMK set. GMK Leopard as a name would be just perfect. Yeah, I think because GMK is based in Germany, military stuff is difficult for them to morally produce depending on its theming. You'd have to be very careful and very clear on the theming for them to pick it up. So yeah. What's your engineering background? By the way, we met at the GMK meetup. So my engineering background is more mechanical engineering for cars and things like that as a hobby. In terms of my professional background, I was a senior program manager for Lloyds Banking Group here in the UK for around about 15 years. So it would be more technical deployment and delivery of large-scale programs of work, whether hardware, software, culture-driven, all of that kind of stuff. So deployment of large-scale in unique endeavors is how I'd probably put it. So things like changing the way that banks actually interact with customers and things like that. If keyboards had a dating app, which of your builds would get the most swipes right? Is swiping right the good side, or is swiping right the bad side? I don't know dating apps. I've never been on Tinder. I've never had anything like that. So is swiping right like a good thing, or is swiping left a good thing? let me know which. Like, is swiping right saying I want to date that, or is that swiping left? Let me know which way around that's it. They're kind of gaskets, kind of, yeah. Everyone swipes right for Jay's build. Nice. I'd have to be able to have a good handle on myself. I do, but so Mr. Claim, right? I do have a really good handle on myself, but I think most people would be shocked if I shared what that really is, because I actively try to repress that a lot. Think we just wrote Jay's dating app profile? Maybe. What's your favorite board, switch, and keycap set of all time, and why? What's your favorite combo of all three if it's different? So, Kwanzaa, my favorite combination will change on a weekly basis. Like, as I use different keyboards, or if I'm in different moods, it's going to change. If I had to just pick one keyboard right now, of all the keyboards I've ever built, it would be the original JL1 on a carbon fiber plate with Gateron inks. That's what I would pick. But that changes. Like, what I want to use on a daily basis will change. Viable. You pay to attend public schools. Yeah, okay. So as I said before, public schools in the UK are a little bit different to what the name suggests, right? So it's kind of backwards how we do it. So a public school here in the UK is actually a private school. But we don't call them private schools, we just call them public schools. Don't know why, I can't remember the history for it. But a public school in the UK is a school that you would pay to attend. If you wanted to go to a normal high school, you didn't have to pay to attend, and it was just part of the the education that you get as part of the free as part of the curriculum, the national curriculum. Then that would be a comprehensive or an academy or just a standard school. So it's a little bit different here in the UK. A public school is very much a private school that you would pay to attend, maybe a grammar school, something like that. It's very different. A free school everyone is entitled to. Okay, so a state school. Yeah, state school is probably better. Such a dumb name. A free school that everyone's entitled to. What was the question again? I've forgotten what the question was now. Do you have any opinions about state schools, more specifically what they're missing educating the masses? So yeah, I think in terms of state schools, I think they miss a few things. A couple of the big things that I think they miss, and I haven't finished soldering this, so I'm just going to put the soldering iron down before I stab myself with it. So a couple of things I think they miss is... That's hot and it's on the floor. I'm going to disconnect that for now, and we'll get back to soldering in a second. So a couple of things I think they miss is no one teaches anyone how to look after finances as an adult. So your parents in the olden days might have had a checkbook and an account balance that they wrote in to keep track of it. Modern days we have online banking and all that kind of stuff. But no one actually teaches you what debt is. No one actually teaches you what a mortgage is or how to go about these things. No one really teaches you to understand what a credit card is or APRs or anything like that. It's either information that you absorb when you get older, or it's information you actively seek out when you get older, or it's something that you pretend you never really understand and you just try and get through life, and it depending on the type of person that you are. And one thing that I think that schools really should do is teach people how to manage their finances, how to set up a budget, how to make sure that they know what's happening with their income, to make sure that they know what they're spending their money on, to make sure they know what percentage of their salary is their rent or their mortgage payments, what a mortgage means, how to look after your credit rating, all of those kinds of things, how to live day to day, how to allocate budget to your shopping, to your food, to your clothes, to whatever else you might need. I think that's absolutely something that's not taught in schools today and should be taught. 100% should be taught. So I think that's the biggest thing that we're missing, but people may have different opinions. Jay, pineapple on pizza, yes or no? Yes, sweet and savory works. It's sweet and savory has been in almost every cuisine since the start of time, so I absolutely think that it should be. Coffee machine with a cyberdeck interface, maybe. Yeah, he's got a decent one. It's a decent espresso machine. It's literally called decent, DE1, yeah. Caffeine infused keycaps could be a cool idea. Know how that would work, but sounds good. Yeah, I mean, there's certain chemicals that you can ingest by touching them, so maybe we could work it into that. I don't know. If you could do a group buy to drive donations to cancer research, what would you do and why? So if it was going to cancer research, I'd want it to go to Well, I would prefer that it went to Macmillan Cancer Support here in the UK. Whenever I raise money for charity, and we do it every year, we've done mountain climbing in the past, we've done coffee days here at the workshop, we've done a few different things. I think we've raised something in the region of like £25,000 now over the last 6 years. It tends to be for Macmillan Cancer Support. The reason I do that is because they look after people in the last few days of their lives, but when they need, you know, all of that kind of support, they're passing away from cancer, they need you know, all of that support there in like a nice setting. They looked after my mum when she died back in 2019, which is 6 years ago now. It's crazy, it's 6 years since she passed away. And they gave her dignity in those last few days, so I always try and raise money for them. They have an amazing facility in Leeds, and that's kind of like where I'd like to try and send money if I've got some spare. So hypothetically, of course, would you rather fight 100 aggressive geese-sized horses or one aggressive horse-sized goose? I'd go for the one aggressive horse-sized goose. I feel like one aggressive horse-sized goose, yeah. Budget was actually taught in my country in the 8th grade. It was removed from the curricula later. Yeah, it's never been taught here in the UK as far as I know. We're doing a 2026 beefcake calendar for PT for charity for next year as well. Terminal palliative care. Yeah, so the last few days of my mum's life was there. So it's yeah, Macmillan do other things as well. So they put on like coffee mornings, and they do like games for people. So people who are in these kind of situations who want to talk to other people who are going through similar things, they have like social meeting points at a lot of the major hospitals in the UK, and you can go along, and you don't have to be terminal for cancer. You might be someone who's related to that. They put on events, they have charity things, they have you know, bric-a-brac stalls, or they make cakes or whatever, or you can go along and do jigsaws with people. My mum went to a couple of like creative writing classes, and I still have some of the poems that she wrote, and all sorts of stuff like that. Like they try and give you dignity in your final days, and they kind of let you know how it's going to happen as well, and what to expect, whether you're the patient or a relative and you're going to experience it for the first time. So they're very, very good at that, and I've got a lot of time for them. So yeah. Question about Munster Munch. Are the crisps Munster feet or Munsters? Turn them upside down. I've always seen them as the feet, but someone pointed out the other to me recently. I think both are valid. I think they're just supposed to be crazy crisps, right? So yeah, I think that's fine. Schools should teach logic and critical thinking as an actual subject, combat disinformation and conspiracy nonsense. Dude, I so agree with this. How to, like, when people who say, oh, you should do your own research, Jay, you are just a monkey. It's like, no, you think you've done your own research, but you've just fallen down a rabbit hole where the algorithms, you know, reinforcing an incorrect viewpoint that you probably wouldn't have if you actually listened to things. And I think critical thinking in that respect, and I get this from people I know and love and care about, and quite often I think, yeah, you're talking about that. I don't know much about the subject, but I know that your take on the subject isn't quite right. I just let them, and I try not to get involved because I don't want to fall out with people. But yeah, they should absolutely do that. Financial responsibility, yeah, as part of budgeting, they should teach financial responsibility as well. Yeah, absolutely. Right, okay, let's finish this soldering, because I did drop the soldering iron. Okay, I think we've only got 3 switches left to go. See, also Brexit. Yeah, I think a lot of this is what's happening in the US right now as well. I think there's a lot of right-wing sentiment here in the UK, and I think people will pick up on one piece of misinformation, and when they claim they've done their own research, they've just been shown things that reinforce that certain mindset or that certain belief because they've already interacted with one part of it. And I think it can be very quickly a downward spiral into that kind of thing. I'm all for people having their own thoughts and opinions, and people disagreeing with me and telling me that I'm wrong. But if you're going to have an opinion on something, please try and be educated about it, and don't just assume that the 3 memes on Facebook that you've read about it are the truth, because I think that's a poor way of doing it. Yeah, critical thinking is vastly underrated at the minute, I think. Okay, so we've now soldered the keyboard. It's time to get our assembly on and get the board put together fully. Doing your own research is very damaging if you don't know how to conduct proper research. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And I would also argue that one person doing the research is probably, you know, it's probably a net negative sometimes. It's not exactly a rounded figure. My plan was always to go contracting Europe later on. Brexit, we are so much better off. Schools would teach for wait, what? LOL Brexit, we are so much better off. My plan was always going to go contracting in Europe later on. Yeah, like I mean, you know, it swings in roundabouts. I get it. Don't just ask ChatGPT or Chrome. Well, yeah, they're going to be influenced by the biases that they've already had with you, so, and how you phrase a question as well. So, yeah, like, man. Okay, so just installing the gaskets here. You can see I'm just popping them over the bits there. Okay, do we need to use the little roundels? I think. Yeah. And before I don't actually need to use these, I'm just using them because I think I need to use them. I haven't actually watched a Manta Build stream yet. I really should do. Doing your research is bad. My TV told me to avoid doing it at all costs. It was during COVID when wax was safe and effective. I just think... I don't know what to think sometimes, you know? Are we missing some of these? I feel like we might be missing a couple. I can absolutely see nothing underneath here. It's in so much shadow I can't actually see it. I don't think we need those in. The more I'm looking at them, the more I think we don't need them. No, it's just the lighting where I can't see. So because we've got stream lights up here, anything that's underneath is really dark. That's all. I just can't see underneath it because of the way the stream lights are set up. So the room's actually quite dark, and then there's just two bright lights above. So anything that I'm trying to look at the bottom side of is just in shadow. Stuck on. Oh, we're putting it upside down. What am I doing? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Jay, come on. There we go. Yeah, top case of saying. Yeah, I was not looking at it, I realised. It's been a long day, guys. It's been a long day. Should have gone Specsavers. Yeah, it's been a long day. It was a long day yesterday, and then we went out for Sunday dinner today with the family. But I've been up since about 6 a.m. and I didn't get to bed until about 2 a.m. So I've had about 4 hours sleep, and then we had like a 3-hour drive to get home. So it's been a long day. Soccer grommet. Yeah, we just gone for the socks. Yeah, I should have really checked out Bowl's stream on how to build the board beforehand, but I didn't. Come on, screwdriver, out you come. Almost Monday again. Yeah, I'll be back at the workshop in about 7 hours after the stream ends. I'll be back at the workshop. I need to record another episode of Roll for Caffeine tomorrow, because the last 2 times I've tried to record episode 9 have both failed. So I need to do that in the morning. And then record episode 10 in the afternoon, I think, tomorrow. Okay, there we go. That is the board all assembled. Looking pretty tasty. Pretty nice. You should have a good lie-in. No, I need to be here first thing. Because we're having like a little staff meeting tomorrow as well. So I need to be here first thing for that. Okay, it's now time to pick You Would If I Was Me. Dude, like I work like I'm at the workshop on average for about 100 hours a week. So like I'm here a lot. So yeah, so I'll be here first thing in the morning. Yeah, that's looking really neat. Nice and tidy. Okay, great. Right, time for you guys to pick some keycaps. So do we have a friendly moderator ready to do the keycaps? Does somebody have any experience with ZMK instead of QMK and mouse support? Not with mouse support, no. I have some experience with ZMK. And I've worked with Polarity Works guys before on some stuff. They're really good. So yeah. I think that most people should be allowed to do dumb things as long as it doesn't hurt others. Yeah, I think I agree, Voidmain. Like, there's a few people I don't like their opinions sometimes, but I like the person, so I have to look past their opinions. And I just let them get on with that, and I just don't say anything because you know, I don't want to yuck someone else's yum. Okay, so first choice, GMK Dolch. Second choice, GMK Tribal. Third choice, to go with that sparkly aesthetic, GMK Vaporwave. Or a set that just went in stock the other day, GMK Hyper Beige. Let me know what you think, guys. Those are the choices. Let me know what you think. I have to use 3 different systems to manage an automated warehouse at work. Nice. Do you manage all your inventory via spreadsheets? No, we use Shopify to manage most of our inventory in terms of like how much we've got of everything. So when we do stock takes, it's directly into Shopify, and that manages it, and that outputs to a few different areas. So we have a custom set of Zapier rules that actually output every sale, whether it be a group buy, in stock, or pre-order, into a separate spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet then helps us to analyze what is, well, it helps us split by group, by pre-order, and in stock, and it also then helps us look at some of the weirder, quirky rules that Shopify can't handle, such as if someone outside of the UK joins a group buy, they don't pay us the 20% VAT we are required to charge UK customers. Once that hits 90 days of being outstanding, that order, we then have to pay the VAT man in our next tax return that 20%, even though the customer hasn't paid it. And then we can claim that 20% back off a future VAT bill after we have delivered that product. So the spreadsheet tracks a number of things like that for us. So yeah, someone is using points. Feel free to have at it, guys. Feel free to have at it. Cosmos is not a pick for this one. It's still, Cosmos is still on another board, so I don't want to take it off that other board just yet. Don't forget you can get 30% off things on stream whilst we're live as well, guys. So there's still that big discount on the website. So do take a look at that if there's anything you're interested in it. I'm just going to have a look and see if anyone's actually ordered anything. Oh, there's been quite a few orders during the stream. Nice. Nice. Rigged. Yeah. Tribal ISO would look sick. Yeah, Tribal ISO Enter would look great. I do have the novelties myself, but I obviously doesn't have UK ISO, so it'll be a little bit of a rigged thing. But I don't think any of these sets have UK ISO apart from... Oh no, Vaporwave and Dolch do, actually. Yeah, Vaporwave and Dolch do, yeah. I just realised I never turned the CC captions on, so I've turned them on now. If anyone was watching without seeing those. More votes than viewers. Hey, that's fine. That's fine. You can use German ISO. I think most of the sets have terminal ISO, not those. Dolch felt lonely to put a point. Nice. Could be a silly question, but when you have stock takes, do you have to physically check inventory, and if so, is there an audited one? We have 4 annually, and 1 is audited, and we have to check about 2.5% of our stock, which is about 80 pallets. So we have about 4,000 different product ranges in stock. So if you imagine that as key sets, then you've got base kits and spacebar kits and more. It's closer to 40,000 different things, because like keyboards can have like multiple colors and plates and other options and stuff like that, and desk mats can have 20 different variations and things. So we have a lot of different stock items in stock, but we just go through shelf by shelf and count stuff and check it. We don't have anything that's audited because we only come on, we're not a medium to large enterprise. We're still classed as a small to medium enterprise because we're under 5 million quid revenue a year, so we don't have to do anything like that. But yeah, we do. Our accountant does come up and help us with it. So what we'll do is we'll do a stock take where the whole team will get here once a year, usually around the end of our financial year, so we can have a look at this, our stock. We will count every single product, and whilst a couple of us are counting, someone else will be sat there with a laptop, putting the numbers in, or checking the numbers, tweaking them where we needed to, where they need to be changed, adding one or removing one or whatever it might be. And we go through every product on every shelf by shelf effectively. Some things we don't check every single one of, like switches. We don't count every single switch because we've generally got about 1 million switches in stock at any given time. So yeah, it really depends. It really depends. It's not a silly question at all. Tribal with a Nordic kit would be so mega. Yeah, I agree. Well, Hyperbage did win, so we're going to use that today. One person spent... decided the vote. Who was it who spent 30,000 points? Can I check? Let me have a look. See if I can check. Can I check? Doodle contributed 10,700. Yes. Yeah. Doodle contributed 10,700 points. So there you go. There you go. Cool. Okay, let's flip over to putting those keycaps on the board. Come on, the box does not come out. There we go. It's upside down. Giga rigged. That's the whole point, though. It's fun. People have the opportunity to rig it if they would like. I'm just going to go for the really classy, clean look of this set. I'm not going to go for any accents today. We're just going to go for a really nice, clean base kit look. It is hyper beige. It's basically GMK Hyperfuse, but on a beige background. This or Prussian blue? Yes. Nothing in the history of the word was ever so beige since sliced bread. Donald Trump. What? What? Yeah. I picked 2 keycaps with left and right at once. What do you mean, Chaos? I'm not sure I follow. I picked 2 keycaps with left and right at once. Oh, you do 2 at a time? Yeah, I get that. Okay, fine. But it's alright. You're excited about Prussian blue coming? Yeah, it's such a nice keycap set. It has left GMK now. It's on its way. I'm hoping it's going to arrive by the end of the week. Oh, I did go for full caps. Okay, I thought I'd gone for step, but I didn't. I went for full. Motif isn't quite ready yet, but it's not too far away. Cyrillic green, GMK Tiger would also look dope on this. Yeah, one of the other keycap sets, if I was keeping this board, I would put on it would be Verdant Retro. I think it'd look really nice. The green with the beige and the copper and the black would look really nice. Of course, we get the R5 bottom row here as well, which is always nice. Hopefully someone out there does Manta with GMK Manta. Yeah, I don't have GMK Manta actually. I wish I did. I would use it if I did. GMK Maestro would have been my pick for the gold accents for this board. That's a good choice. Yeah, that's not a bad choice. Just debating what other key to put in there. I'm feeling in a really ostentatious mood, so I'm going to put the dash key in there from the numpad. Just to have like a line break almost. I don't know why. I have no reason for wanting to do that other than I wanted to do that. And there we go. Just to give like a little visual separator. Okay, so here we have the Manta keyboard in the sparkle black finish with this beautiful copper base. HMX Sonya switches and GMK Hyper Beige. Look how beautiful that looks. Look how nice that side profile is. Look how good the curve board here looks good with R5 for the bottom row. Super love that. Absolutely love that. That looks so good. This curve here, I know that looks like a straight line, but it's not. If I put something straight here, you'll see the case is like, that's really terrible ruler, J. Why didn't you use something a bit darker so you can see? If I put like a straight line here, you can see how you can see the keycaps down this, there is a curve there. Hold on. Do it the other way around so you can see it in the light. There is a curve to the case. You can see how you can see the keycaps in the middle. It's not quite straight. It's a beautiful, beautiful board. Looks great. How heavy is it? Not particularly heavy. It's pretty light. You can weigh it. So it is 1.1 gram, 1.1 kilogram, which in freedom units is 2 pounds 7 ounces. Yeah, 2 pounds 7, 2 pounds 8, something like that, and 1.1 kilogram. How many stones is that? Depends on how many it takes to hit you when I throw them. Looks really, really good. Should we see how it sounds? Let's pause the music and see how it sounds. Yeah, it's super light. Could be a great travel board. Oh, that sounds so good. Super clacky with the PC plate here. That sounds so good. That sounds so good. Sounds good. It looks good. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. What a keyboard. Oh my, that's not quite on. There we go. Look at that. Reed, you don't need to see my orgasm face. I do love a bright HMX switch. The problem with HMX switches is they all sound the same. That's a problem. But yeah, it does sound nice. Oh, what a great board. What a great keyboard. What an absolutely fantastic bit of kit. And I think it just looks so good in ISO, look. So good with the ISO enter. And that split left shift. I do think 65s look really good in ISO. That side profile though. Look at that. This curve here with the R5 for this. Fin cylinders. Yeah.